we have, last month we made a motion to basically accept money if the state party or anybody came in kind of the last minute to support our candidates that are running in the August primary that are unopposed, some of them that you'll hear from tonight. And we did actually receive some funds. So I did want to give you guys kind of that update. So we did actually receive about $2,500 from Municipal Victory for support in the Sanford area. So we have been supporting Nancy Groves, and Municipal Victory kind of came in handy there, and we were really appreciative for that. So I just wanted to thank you guys, because without that vote, we wouldn't have been able to spend it. So we do appreciate that, and we're able to move forward and help support Nancy in her run for Sanford City Commission. So thank you guys. We will probably be asking for kind of a similar thing for November candidates coming up next month, but we're not going to go ahead and do that yet. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. So thank you guys. Oh, and see, Nancy writes thank you in the chat there. So you're welcome, Nancy. We're super excited. We're going to help fill it.
Is that what you're telling me?
Hey, Larry, I think you're echoing a little bit.
All right, let me try this again.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and keep moving forward with the meeting part. Or Larry, do you have the voting pieces? Is that what you were looking at?
Yeah, I'm just not coming back alive. Let me bring the polling up.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the what's the question?
So we had the voting in of new members.
Okay, here it comes.
Thank you. And if everybody who is a voting member would please vote, we greatly appreciate it. All of our precinct captains, thank you so much. And for those who may be watching after the fact who are not precinct captains, thank you so much. We really appreciate all your support, but we want to also explain that our precinct captains are our voting members of the local party, and they work very hard to ensure that we're getting out the vote in their different areas. So each polling location on election day represents a different precinct, and so we really appreciate that. So, so the new members, and Larry, do we have results for that? And then Chris, we will go to the approval of minutes as well. Yes, welcome, Leslie. Thank you. You are our newest member. And then Larry, the next question we have, do I have a motion to approve our July meeting minutes that were sent out in the PC Minute email as well? Do I have a motion? Motion from Kyle, okay. And then do I have a second?
Second, it's Jeff.
Second from Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Okay, and then all in favor, please vote for the meeting minutes, or you can vote against that. Thank you, guys. And then Larry, do we have results in? Okay, awesome. Thank you, guys. Meeting minutes are approved for July. Much appreciated. So I did want to mention a couple things that we have coming up. Obviously, we are not open for early voting, unfortunately, on Sunday, August 16th. But we want to keep the community engaged and encourage everybody to get out to vote. But we also have the Democratic National Convention coming up, which is now going to be held virtually. So we do want to make sure that we're getting people excited, not just about November, but also about August. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have a big caravan that's going to drive through Seminole County. Rob Bial has been organizing for us. We really appreciate that, Rob. And it's going to be happening this Sunday at 2 p.m. And we're going to start in kind of the Winter Park area and then go all the way over to the Sanford area. So we are super excited about that. There is a sign up online on our calendar as well as on our social media pages. So if you want to decorate your car and make it all, Biden, Democrats, local candidates, and get that all decked out, we would love to have you. Please do sign up though, so we know to expect you. And we're going to help get out the vote. We're going to support our local candidates as well as Joe Biden for the national convention and for the primary election. So please, we'd love to have you join in. If you can't make it for the driving piece, we would love to have you come out and cheer along the path. So we'll be putting out the path shortly, but definitely sign up if you can. We'd love to have a long line of cars driving through Seminole County. We're actually going to start in Orange because these are kind of districted with the congressional districts. So we're going to start just over the line in Winter Park in Orange County, and then we're going to sneak through and end up in Sanford, so on the other side. But it's going to be a fun time. We hope to have you all there. If you're not already busy volunteering and helping get out the vote, please be sure to join us for the caravan. Do we have any questions about the caravan in the, nothing in the chat? Okay, if we had any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. We do have Rob Bial on with us here today who can answer some of those questions for you. Okay, the next thing I want to mention is super exciting. We have our silent auction, which is taking place. It's going to be starting on the 22nd, correct? Yes, 22nd. So we are very excited. What we're going to be doing is we're going to have our silent auction, and this was originally going to be tied to our gala, but as you all know, first we moved back our gala from April to August, and then we decided that it was in the best interest of everybody involved to cancel it. So unfortunately, we did have to cancel our big gala, which is our biggest event of the election year. But we are still going to have a silent auction. If you guys have not seen these items, they are phenomenal, and we are super excited to have all of these things. You can participate in the silent auction by going to semdems.com/shop, and you do need to make an account in order to bid. So please be sure to make those accounts ahead of time, and then we can start your bidding at 7 o'clock on 8/22. So definitely check that out. We have so many awesome prizes. It's very exciting. So we hope to see you guys all there. We'll probably have some fun cocktail hour things during that week as well. So fun times to hear more about those items. I did want to mention, so as many of you know, Howard Mass, who's on tonight, has always been tracking the registration difference from Republicans to Democrats here. And we know we are getting closer and closer and closer to overtaking those Republicans here in Seminole County. We are now down to 786 more Republicans than Democrats in Seminole County, which is so close. We're really hoping that by next Tuesday we would surpass them, but it looks like it may be going, another month or two. So please, if you have anybody in your household who needs to register to vote, please do so. My cousin Anna turned 18 today, so she is a brand new voter, and we're so excited for that. Right here in Seminole County. And so if you have people in your household or your family or your friends who want to register to vote and become a Democrat, please just let us know. You can always give us a call. We do drive up voter registration items every Saturday at our office. We've always got things going on. You can also go online to the Supervisor of Elections website at voteseminole.org. So definitely encourage you guys to reach out to any friends or family who you think may need to update their addresses and get it going. So we are excited. Oh, did Sal have a question you said, Ben? Was there? Oh, you're muted, Ben. Sorry.
Every time. Christina and Rob Miner, not from Sal, but Christina and Rob Miner had a question about where the caravan was starting on the Sunday meeting.
Yeah, so it's going to start in the Winter Park area, just over the line in Orange County. But if you do sign up, we'll send you the full route, and we will be promoting the route as well, because we want everybody to come out and cheer with us and get excited about this. So if you sign up on the link that's on our Facebook page or on our calendar of events, please go ahead and do that, and then we'll get you the full route. So okay, going on to the next slide. Please, one more thing that we've been doing is we're still making phone calls and giving out gift cards. So if you would like to help make phone calls and turn out the vote, we are giving out a $25 gift card a week, and many thanks to our generous volunteers who have made that happen. We have a couple donors who have now chipped in and are doing this, so we really appreciate you, as well as all of you that are making those phone calls to helping turn out the vote for all of our wonderful candidates. We want to make sure that we are up and running. So thank you so much. Ben, I know you had you had some numbers about how close we were. Did you want to, I know we had, so I've heard some numbers about what's happening already. Ben gave me a few numbers, and then Ben, if you want to chime in, feel free.
Mm-hmm.
But 13,980 Democrats have voted by mail so far. 11,794 Republicans have voted by mail so far. 3,376 Republicans have voted early, and 2,249 Democrats have voted early. So far, we are in the lead by about 997 ballots, but this is not a given. We definitely need to make sure that we get out the vote and get going. So this is going to be close here, folks. So we definitely want to make sure that we're all spreading the word, making those phone calls, dropping that literature if you feel comfortable. We are handing out voter guides at the Sanford and Castleberry libraries, but we do have, we are requiring face masks. We've got hand sanitizer, but we also have a QR code if people can scan those instead of taking an actual piece of paper. So definitely check that out. The sign-up links are all over our website and online, but we would love to have some more volunteers. So Ben, did you have any more numbers that you wanted to share?
Just to kind of give some people some idea of like where we're at right now. We have right now 16,167 Democrats have voted so far in the primary election. That's 14.21%. This time last year, or at the end of early voting, we had 13.38% of Democrats have voted. So we're doing better than we did in 2016, not just because we have more Democrats in Seminole County, but because we are getting out and voting more than we were in 2016. But there is still 86% of Democrats in this county who haven't yet voted, and we need your help to get those people to vote before Tuesday. So again, if you can go on and spend some time phone banking, spend some time checking with your neighbors, finding out if you have, for precinct captains, if you have your Vote Builder account, log into Vote Builder, find out which of your neighbors haven't voted yet, and print out and drop off some of our voter guides to those people to make sure they know. It's a very, very different election than it ever has been, but it's also probably one of the most important elections we're going to have in our lifetime. So it's incredibly important that we get the vote out now, and we get the vote out in November.
Definitely. Thank you, Ben. Well said. And I know Kathy put in the chat here that we're doing quickie phone banking trainings every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. The link is in our calendar. And then we're also having Saturdays at 2 o'clock. We've got some training. So definitely dive in and help out if you can. Every vote is going to make a difference here in Seminole County. We all know how vital this time is. So without further ado, I want to talk to somebody who, I went too far, about somebody who has been doing the work and putting in all those hours. And I just want to say thank you so much to our activist of the month, Ernie Langdon. And for those of you that don't know Ernie, he has been working very hard, especially behind the scenes, making sure that all of our ballots get cured if there are any issues with them. He's always been working hard as a precinct captain to get out the vote. So we appreciate you, Ernie. Thank you for all that you do. So next up, just a quick reminder, if you would like to run for office, please reach out to Kyle Hopkins. He is our campaign chair, and he can help set you up and help get you on the right path before you file to run for office. So definitely reach out to Kyle. We do have quite a few municipal seats that are still up for grabs. We have 4 seats in Longwood that are going to be up this time around, and there's still time to file. So if you know someone who should be a candidate in Longwood, please let us know. Lake Mary, Winter Springs, Altamont Springs, and Longwood all still have time to sign up. So definitely let us know if you're interested in running for office or if you want to help on one of those campaigns. Please be sure to reach out to Kyle. And then I did want to mention some of the awesome candidates that we do have. You'll see a few of these names on your ballot. The only one that is there's a couple things that are districted for voting here, but these are this is our list from our ballot. So definitely check that out. And I do want to go ahead and I'm going to turn it over to Ben to introduce some of our awesome candidates tonight.
All right, thank you so much, Brittany. So we do this tonight, we're going to be focusing in on some of our municipal races. Last season, we had talked about some of our candidates who are going to be having primaries on the state and county races. But this year, or this season, we have 3 Democrats where everything is on the line on August 18th. And that's why, again, it's so important for you to get out and vote in these upcoming elections. So there are 3 races that will be finalized. 2 that will definitely be finalized this August 18th, and then we have a 3rd one that will probably be finalized this August 18th. So, this is School Board Member 3, Veronica King, our City of Castleberry Commissioner, Chad Albrighton, and our City of Sanford Commissioner candidate, Nancy Groves. So we want to have a chance to be able to get up here, provide some questions and comments, let them be able to answer some questions. Because of some of the Facebook issues, it'll be mostly coming from our precinct captains. So we are sorry about that and not being able to have some live questions, but hopefully we can, I'll be relying on our precinct captains who are here in the audience with us live to be able to kind of provide some good questions going on. We have I think we're first going to have Veronica King, who is running for School Board Member District 3. So Larry, if you can go ahead and move Veronica up to being to a panelist, and then Veronica, if you can go ahead and unmute yourself and turn on your video.
I'm looking for.
I think it's Veronica Smith. I'm sorry.
It's Veronica Smith, okay.
Good evening, Veronica.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Can you hear
can.
me?
Excellent. Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, again, thank you for coming and joining us tonight for our August meeting. I guess kind of briefly introduce yourself. Who are you? What are you running for? Why are you running? And what do you stand for?
All right. Well, thank you for having me on this evening. I am running for Seminole County School Board District 3. It is an all-county election, so if you live in Seminole County, you can definitely vote for me. I have over 20 years, actually 25 years of experience in public service as a public servant, strong voice for students and teachers, and a heartbeat for parents. I'm a wife, a mother, author, small business owner, as well as a proven professional leader. Independent thinker and a community advocate who is very personable, come with integrity, transparency, diversity, with a very strong work ethic. I've been working since I've been since the age of 16. And I'm going to really work hard to close the gap in how the social determinants of health affect student achievement, behavior, as well as their performance in the classroom. And I believe that kids, again, are not cookie cutters. They all learn differently. They come from different experiences and different backgrounds. And a lot of times their environment, their social life, economics, and even their health can contribute to how they overall perform in the class. I want to begin to close those gaps. Students need quality education, but they also need social services as well. So one of the things that I want to really fight hard for is to bring those resources that will help identify those needs that will interfere with their academic progress. And some of those resources is bringing more counselors into the school, ESC teachers, increased funding towards mental health, family, social services, technology, especially now with COVID-19, just really increasing the budget to include more technology. and advocate for our parents as well as our teachers, but also want to be a voice for the teachers. I really want to build and strengthen the teacher morale so we can increase the teacher retention. So I will fight for support services. I believe that teachers need to have all the resources that they need in order to effectively teach. So teachers need to stop, but we need to make sure that they're not teaching from a deficit. And so I will fight to increase pay as well as performance incentives for our teachers. So my mission is to really partner with the current board in fulfilling the mission of the Seminole County School Board, but I have a further vision, again, to increase funding in the mental health, public safety, especially as a result of our COVID-19, and increase allocations towards support services and community services for our families, with a strong advocacy to provide those services at no cost to our teachers, to our parents, as well as our students. Especially now in the time that we're living in, mental health is going to be very huge for us, counseling, and then providing resources for after-school enrichment programs. So that is some of the things that I will fight for. Also fighting for diversity in administration and in the hiring practices, enhancing accountability and transparency. This is just going to provide advancement opportunities for our teachers and our non-instructional professionals. And then lastly, leveraging partnerships in the community where we can have some healthy collaborations to help forge the mission. So why should you vote for me? I really believe that school boards, when we go back and look at what school boards are there for, they were founded on advocacy from members of the community. And boards were created also to have a diversity of community. And for those who don't know, if I am elected or when I am elected, I will be the first African-American woman elected to the Seminole County School Board. The time is right. We need diversity on the board. There is not a mandate or a requirement to have a teacher, but we do need a voice of advocacy. And I bring that voice, and I want to be able to partner with the school boards and provide the advocacy that's needed for our students, our teachers, as well as our families. So I'm excited about this time, and Seminole County has a great opportunity right now to extend its leadership on the board to reflect this diversity. I also sit on a board for another local private school, which I make many of the same decisions that I'll be making for the Seminole County School Board. So I have some experience, some advocacy, and I bring passion and desire to see our students perform academically. So that's just some things about me. If you have any questions, definitely feel free to give me a call. I'm very responsive in answering questions. You can visit my website at www.king4seminolschools.org. Again, that's www.king4seminolschools.org. Okay. Thank you, and I hope you can hear me. I've been having some technical issues. So
do you have a few minutes to I think we had some, I was trying to see, I'm waiting to see if we have any questions in the comment section, but you've answered a lot of the questions about what you're standing for and kind of what you believe in. Brittany says that we can hear you perfectly, so that's fine.
Oh, great.
So, I think one of my questions would be how you've talked about trying to provide more funding and more support and more financial resources and assistance for our teachers and our support staff. How would you go about kind of making that work out?
Well, I would look at the current budget and see where we have some flexibility and some allocations that we can reassign. And then I will also connect with agencies and businesses in the community that will partner with us to help forward the mission of the public school system. And so, and even if I have to be that voice, that speaks to the governor or go to Tallahassee, I'm willing to do that. But we definitely need the increase in our funding.
Okay. We've had two questions that come in related to schools reopening in the face of the pandemic. Would you have, if you were on the board, would you have supported reopening the schools on the 17th for brick and mortar schools?
No, I would not. I take a very firm position in that. I am not in favor of reopening schools, not at this time. I do believe schools should open. I believe our students need to go back to school. But at this point, we cannot ensure the health and safety of our students as well as our teachers. I'm concerned not only with our students being affected by COVID-19, but they have to go back to their homes. They have to go back and interact with their families, and their family members may have some underlying issues. They have to interact with teachers who may have some underlying issues. So I'm not in favor of that. Had I had an opportunity to vote, I would have made a recommendation though. My recommendation would have been to extend it 3 months, maybe up until November, reassess where we are with COVID-19, and make some hard progressive decisions. If our numbers are improving, then that 3-month period extension will give us the time that we need to put a vetted process or a strategic plan in place, making sure that we have all the training in place, that we've done all the walkthroughs, and that it's really vetted, and that we're able to really guarantee the health and the safety of our children. And if the COVID does not get better, then we just have to be prepared to make a progressive decision of keeping our schools closed. Now, I'm not insensitive to those who have to go back to work. I raised my kids as a single mother. I just recently got married, and my children are grown now, but raising my kids as a single mother, I'm very sympathetic to those who have to work, especially those who have kids with special needs. And I do believe, and I stand firm on this, I believe that the federal government, the state need to provide relief to our families who have lost jobs because they have lost sustainable income as a result of this pandemic, and those who cannot return to work because maybe the business has folded, or maybe they were laid off of their job, or maybe they can't go back to work because of their students having to go back do school from home. And so I believe that that relief should come from government. I'm a stickler for that. I believe that had we got ahead of this pandemic back in January or March, we wouldn't be where we are now. And I don't think that our children, our teachers, nor our families should, lives should be put in risk as a result of negligence from our leadership.
Okay. We had some other questions come in. One was about, in 2017, in response to the Marshall Douglas shooting, or Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooting, there was a law passed that allowed school boards to create guardian programs where teachers can be trained, teachers can be armed, and then act as professionals or act as like guardians to stop active shooters in schools. Is that something, would you support arming teachers as part, if you were on the school board?
No, I don't agree with arming teachers. I think teachers should be responsible for teaching, and kids should be responsible for learning. However, I do believe in public safety. And I think, again, that is an area where we have to really look at our funding so we can get adequate law enforcement on our campuses, so that we can make sure that we are properly monitored and that there's proper oversight, and we have the support that we need in the event that something like that should happen. And God forbid that it does. But I do not believe in arming our teachers.
Okay. Kind of bringing into that, because you talk about having school resources, there was a question about children who have emotional behavioral problems, kids that may be on EBD programs. Usually they can, it becomes a struggle because they can be disruptive to classrooms at the same time because of their emotional needs. How would you recommend addressing children who have emotional disturbances, are being disruptive in class, or are being, how should a child who's being disruptive, who's being aggressive, who's being violent, how should the school respond to a child in that, both immediately and then long term?
Well, first of all, again, I think kids are not cookie cutters. They come from diverse backgrounds and experiences. We don't know what's triggering the behavior. So we definitely have to get our guidance counselors, our counselors involved to really begin to identify the needs in that child. I do believe that we can put some incentives in place that help to augment the behavior. Sometimes this is a matter of putting some incentives in there that will help bring those kids back to a place where they can be taught and they're not disruptive in class. And I personally have an experience with that. My son, who also attended Seminole County schools, he had some challenges in the area of behavior. And that came as a result of some anger issues that he had. We had gone through a divorce, me and his father, and it really was challenging for the kids. And so while they were navigating through this transition in our lives, you know, he still had to go to school, still had to learn, still had to take tests. And there were some things that we were able to do in talking with the counselor and putting in a special learning plan for him to help him stay the course. And it worked well for him. Now, that process was not easy. So one thing that I would like to do, becoming a part of the public school system, is really looking at the policies, making sure that they're parent friendly and that they're easy to navigate through. So to answer your question, I would get our counselors involved, you know, and find out what is the root of their behavior and put some incentives in place to augment that behavior.
Okay, we have one last question from actually our current school board member, Christine Krause. What would your and this will probably be the last question for you, Veronica, but what would your top three priorities as school board member be?
My top three, again, is addressing the social determinants of health that can potentially affect a child in the classroom. And of course, that will affect their testing as well. Oftentimes kids, if they're coming from a home where they don't have sustainable income and they may be homeless, or they may be homeless, or they may be coming from a distressed home, oftentimes that interferes with their progress and their performance in the classroom. So I would really work close with the counselors and look at ways that we can begin to close that gap. So that is very dear to me, addressing those social determinants of health. And again, finding funding that will begin to underwrite those counselors, bringing in more special teachers for special needs, so we can begin to address the issue so that our kids can begin to learn and they can begin to perform in the classroom.
Okay. So I think that's pretty much all the time we have. And I think that's all the questions we have as well. So Veronica, if you want to again kind of remind everyone where they can go to find you, and if they wanted to learn more about you or help you or support you, how would they go about doing that?
Yes. Thank you so much, very much. Help me get the word out. Let them know Veronica King is running for Seminole County School Board District 3. And my seat will be determined on August the 18th. It's not too late to participate in early voting, so come on out. It's countywide. If you're in Seminole County, come out and vote for Veronica King. I can be reached again at my website at www.king4seminoleschools.org. I'm very responsive on my website. I have a community feedback form. You can actually fill that out and address any concerns that you have. I typically try to turn around my responses in 24 hours, but sometimes I'm inundated with several questions. And so I have to take questions first come, first serve. But I am very responsive. I've gotten back with everyone who have provided questions for me. So I look forward to you all supporting me, helping to get the word out. There's a lot more that I can say tonight, but I know our time is very limited. But thank you again for this opportunity.
All right. Thank you so much, Veronica. Next up, we have Nancy Groves, who is running for Sanford Commissioner Seat 3. So Larry, if you can go ahead and have move her up to be a panelist, and then have and then if you could have Veronica back down as an attendee, or just make things a little bit easier.
Hi.
Hi, Nancy. How are you doing?
Can you hear me? I don't know if this is working. So.
Yeah, we can hear you fine. So we're doing,
okay.
Sounds great.
Great.
All right. So we have all right. So Nancy, once again, thank you for joining us tonight and kind of being involved. If you wanted to go ahead and introduce yourself, who are you? What are you running for? Why are you running? And what do you plan to do as a city commissioner?
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to be on tonight. And just to tell you a little bit about myself, I came to Orlando in 1983, actually from Washington, D.C. on the auto train and landed in Sanford. I didn't realize that it'd be a long trip back around. And then in 2005, I actually moved to Sanford and fall in love with the city. And, I wouldn't live anyplace else. I love Sanford, and that's part of the reason why I'm running. I was very upset during this COVID time to see that really our local leadership just was completely silent, and we had no leadership. So with all of that, I finalized my paperwork to run for city commissioner in District 3. And to me, it's very important. Health and welfare, there is not a higher priority than that as far as I'm concerned. So I'm ready to lead on day one and, help the citizens of Sanford to have a safer life and to improve their life. So that's my main reason. I want to make the citizens of Sanford lives better. So I want to be their advocate. So my main platforms basically are after the health and welfare, which is a huge hurdle. And we're going to have a lot of, I think a lot of cities are going to have the same thing as Sanford. We're going to have budget shortfalls because of the effects of COVID. And I don't think we've seen all of that. So there's going to need to be some smart decisions made as to where resources are going to be allocated, and things are going to have to be moved around in the budget to make that happen so that people that need help can get help. For example, our small businesses is one of my big priorities, and we need to help them more because they are the lifeblood of our economy. And so give more grants to them. As an example, right now, we have a golf course in Sanford, and they're looking for another $230,000. I kind of think that we could use that money in a better place by allocating some of that money to small business and offering additional grants to business owners that perhaps didn't get any aid in any of the other programs like that were available earlier through the Small Business Administration or the programs. So, I really find that a real slap in the face. So these are the kind of things that I'm passionate about. The second or the third thing really is affordable housing. I am a real estate broker by trade. And I've been selling affordable homes through HUD for many, many years, over 10 years. And so I have an idea of how to navigate the waters and try to help people find some affordable housing. And that's a big challenge. And I'd like to bring some affordable housing to Sanford because we haven't had that through a public-private partnership, for example, to help get some infill lots and a small builder and get some people that can afford a lower price tag to get into some affordable housing. So we need some public and private partnerships. So please vote for me. I'm for you. And I'm running for City of Sanford Commissioner in District 3. And I really need your support. And I just want to remind everybody that tonight at midnight is the deadline for donations. So please go to my website at grovesforsanford.com. Thank you.
All right, so Nancy, you kind of talked about wanting to have, as we get kind of some questions going in there, you mentioned trying to improve health and well-being in Sanford and for the city of Sanford. What sort would you want to see the city commission promote, or what sort of initiatives would you want to see the city of Sanford enact in order to promote health and well-being?
Okay, well, first of all, we haven't had any communication. Okay, so the number one thing would be, let's have some communication. Everything was advocated to the county. So, for example, I'd like to see that we have to wear masks. Just for everybody's safety. Simple things, not things that necessarily have to cost a lot of money. And definitely, for example, in the schools, to make sure that, to assist the schools to make sure that we're sensitive to the children. You know, a lot of families, I've met with a lot of families through this campaign, live in multi-generational households. So when they go to school, a lot of the kids are going to be, you know, they're nervous, they've been cooped up, they're stressed, everybody's stressed. We need to make sure that we all communicate with each other and can have open conversations about, you know, what's bothering us. And the mental health, I had a big post on my website about mental health and the schools, and trying to find a safer way to you know, keep everybody safe. You know, that the young kids are going to come home and they want to see their grandma, but maybe grandma has some underlying conditions. So we need to be like really aware of some of the dangers that are built into our families.
Okay. You mentioned talking about, I guess kind of the other platform you talked about was like small businesses, and there's been a lot of development in small business, or again, as a fellow Sanford resident, there's been a lot of development in the downtown Sanford. I think we have a downtown Sanford that rivals downtown Orlando, if you ask me. But, you know, how would you continue to promote small businesses, and would you look at other areas of developing to help promote other small business in other areas?
Yes. For example, like out by the mall, there's a lot of retail space that is available. And, you know, I thought that we could do some training schools. We need apprenticeships to retrain younger people. And also some people that have lost their jobs are going to need to be retrained. And so I would like to use some of that space in the mall that basically is dying and repurpose it and be creative about some of those ideas, as far as like have incubators, all different kinds of businesses, and make it affordable to them.
Do you have a, you know, again, going kind of into the affordable housing as well, and into that affordable housing area, how would you promote affordable housing in Sanford?
How would I promote it?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let's see. Through that public-private partnership with the builder, they're going to do some advertising, and then with the city, in conjunction with the city, and again, it's through our communication team. It's really need to get the word out.
Okay.
Obviously, you know, signs, social media, having some training classes for people that. That's what I've done a lot, is do a lot of seminars on, you know, money management and fixing your credit, that kind of stuff, so that when you're ready to purchase a home, you have more tools of how to manage all that.
Okay.
That's important.
As a Sanford resident, I've noticed there's been a lot of development kind of along the waterway. You're seeing a lot more development kind of along 1792, right by the I guess it's Lake Monroe. Is it Lake Monroe or St. John's River?
Yes, it's both.
Yeah, so it's both. You know, how do you feel about development right there on that water line?
Yeah, well, it's kind of done. A lot of that development is already been approved. I know you've seen that new apartment complex as you go around on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
That's brand new. And then we have another apartment complex as you go on the way down to the zoo. There's a lot of proposed new development right there where the old bar that used to be right there on the bend was.
Yeah.
That's all going to be like a really big complex, and boat docks and everything. Multi-million-dollar development. So some of that stuff's already been approved. It just hasn't come online.
Okay. Do you think that
So
development?
that should help our revenue in
Right.
the city, definitely.
But do you think that development is smart? Do you think that's an area that is well established for development?
No, I think it's a difficult place to develop because that's really very wet and very swampy land.
Mhm.
And of course, it's near main water source, which is St. John's River or Lake Monroe. So yeah, it's very delicate from an environmental standpoint. Very delicate.
Okay.
Yes.
why did you choose, and this is a question that came up from the chat, why
Sure.
did you choose to run in District 3?
Oh, well, because I live in District 3 in Sanford, you can only run in the district in which a residency is a requirement.
Okay, so is it districted to run and districted to vote, correct?
Pardon? Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I think, so only the people that live in the District 3 of Sanford are able to vote in your election, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Just wanted to make, just kind of want to remind everybody that's watching online doing with it. So if people are interested, they want to know more, or if they want to find out more about your election, how would they go about doing that?
You can go to my website at grovesforsanford.com. I have a lot of information there. And my phone number's on there. You can always give me a call, and I'm happy to talk to you. I try to pick up. It's the habit from being a realtor. You try to get the phone. So I'll be happy to talk to anybody that gives me a ring.
Okay, excellent. And again, your election is decided on August 18th, correct?
Yes, Tuesday. Yes.
Tuesday. So again, if people are interested in voting for you, they've got to make sure they vote by Tuesday.
Yes, please do.
Okay. And all right. So again, thank you so much, Nancy, for joining us. And again, if you want to find out more from Nancy, you can always go to her website, Nancy Groves for Sanford.
Yeah, well, it's Groves for Sanford.
Groves for Sanford. I'm sorry about that.
No problem. Grovesforsanford.com.
All right, great.
Thank
you so
you.
much, Nancy. You take care.
Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the support.
No problem. Thank you so much, Nancy. All right, and next up we have Chow. Sorry, my father-in-law just texted me about Michael Cohen's new book, and everyone's going to know what I'm talking about in about an hour and a half, and I'm sorry. Next up we have Chad Albritton, who is running for Castleberry Commissioner Seat 4, excuse me. So if we can go ahead and get Chad brought up, and Chad, if you can go ahead and turn on your mic and your camera.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Chad. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Interested to hear more about this Michael Cohen book, apparently.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be all over Twitter in about an hour. So, so again, Chad, thank you very much. Just once again, if you can provide us the information, who are you? What are you running for? Why are you running? And what do you stand for?
No, absolutely. So my name's Chad Albritton. I'm running for Castleberry City Commissioner seat number 4. I'm a lifelong Castleberry resident. I was born here. I purchased my grandmother's home at a great family discount to build my future here. And so I am committed to giving back to this community, which has really helped me throughout my life. You know, I was raised by a single mother. And so the saying, it takes a village to raise a child, couldn't have been more truer when it came to me. So I really want to take what I've learned in life, especially when it comes to my professional communication skills, my education in political science, business and communication, and my principles and values of service and you know, others before self to the City Commission. For a while now, our City Commission has been ran by the same group of people, rotating their friends in and out. It means that they've basically made rules that benefit them, while the rest of the city is left out to dry. I'd like to change that first and foremost by increasing transparency in our city government here in Castleberry. Things like improving meeting times. So if it's 5 o'clock, you know, you can actually get to it. Well, let's say if it's 7 o'clock, you can actually get to it rather than the current 5 o'clock meeting times. Video releases of meetings so that commissioners actually, when they're sitting behind their diocese, have something to talk about other than unanimously passing agenda after agenda after agenda. You know, we're going to see $75 million budgets here in Castleberry this year. And what I'm noticing is that we undertax on property and then overtax on water and some of the most untransparent funding mechanisms. I want to bring change to all of that if possible and really reestablish trust between residents and the city government. But on top of that, I have plans to ignite our local economy with things like transportation projects, community gardening, areas for flea markets, and more. I also want to make sure we protect our natural resources. You know, I grew up on lakes here in Castleberry, and in our short little stretch of, I think it's 7 square miles, we actually have 27 different lakes here in Castleberry. So making sure that, you know, when we construct parking lots, we have the proper runoff and drainage, making sure we're filtering our storm drainage, making sure our lakes have the non-invasive species they need to properly filter the water naturally over time, so we don't have to rely on chemicals. All those are kind of within my agenda here. Now, we are running a tough race against an incumbent that has, in combination with his wife, ran the city for basically 18 years. But we are running an incredible issues-focused campaign. And I think you'll notice if you take a look at our website, chadalbritton.com, we have the skills, principles, values that's needed for moving our city forward and creating opportunity for all of our residents. Too many within my city today are struggling to make ends meet. And I want to make it easier for them to have access to healthier food. I want to make it easier for them to get to work. I want to make it easier for them to afford and take care of their children after work, so that way they can, you know, focus on the things that they need to do in their life other than constant childcare. There's a lot of plans on our website. I do hope you check them out. We, of course, are in a general election race. So August 18th is our election day. And of course, Saturday is the last day to early vote. So we are doing a huge push on dropping literature, on making phone calls, and on getting the word out for sign waving. And we could use all the help in the world. So if you're free over the next coming days, please check out our website and click the volunteer button at the top. I'll reach out to you with all of our volunteer opportunities. But again, we could really use help with phone banking, dropping literature, and also sign waving at the poll locations. I think we're in a great spot to win this race. It's a 3-person race at the moment. So if our incumbent does not receive 50% of the vote plus 1 vote, we will go on to a runoff with the top 2 candidates. And, you know, if we're not poised for a nice Tuesday win, I think we're poised for a great runoff into November. But of course, this is the last day to donate. So if you don't have time to volunteer, but could chip into our campaign, we are funding this campaign solely with small dollar contributions. We're not taking any bigger money from PACs or outside organizations. However, our competition is. He has big developer dollars in his pockets, sending ads on Facebook and mailers in the mail at this moment. And I expect more to come if we enter a November race. So your support will be necessary if we want to bring more transparency, inclusion, and opportunity to Castleberry. And I thank you all so much for your support so far in this race. I really feel good about a good win, and with your help, we can do so. So thank you again for the opportunity to be here tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chad. So we had one question that came in that was kind of asking, why is it that you decided to run for this race in, like, a run for a city commissioner versus other races like, you know, why this?
Something that pays more? No. Yeah, no, that's a great question. It's because Castleberry is my hometown, and I wanted to start where I can make the most difference for those people I grew up with. I have a lot of neighbors who are struggling, truthfully, and I've known them my entire life. I watched our city meetings, tried to attend them myself as a worker in Orlando, and was unable. And just everywhere I look, I see hurdles put in front of our residents when they want to participate in our government or get the help they need, especially looking at the digital communication side and seeing how much potential is there not being met. I knew that Castleberry Commission was the place to start for me. Now, you know, it's a part-time job, which is really a full-time job. You make about $10,000 a year. But so it's really not about the money. It's not about a career move. It's honestly just, I feel I really have the values and the skills necessary. We're going to face a very tough time in these next few years. You know, we're seeing already from recent unemployment numbers that 31% of those rehired back to their job have permanently lost their job. So that means those who previously lost their job were rehired back in the past few months. 31% of those have now fully lost their job, and we can expect that to increase. So making sure that our local businesses, small businesses are supported, making sure we have grants and availability access for our residents. You know, let me tell you, Castleberry, I'm gonna take a drink, one moment. Castleberry was ready to shut off water for our residents August 1st. this is in a time of a pandemic when we need running water to wash our hands, to sanitize, and let's be honest, we just need running water to drink. I found it unacceptable that even a month before Duke, they were ready to do this, and I reached out. This commission denied the extending of the moratorium, so we decided to take it a step further and reach out to the press. And when we did, we put enough pressure to extend the moratorium by an entire month, giving our residents that much more time to figure out their bills and just to keep access of water running to their house. So this kind of activism, this level of change is what I'm trying to bring with this campaign. I'm not afraid to speak out against the status quo. And just because something's been done a certain way doesn't mean that's how it's supposed to be done in the future. So I think there's a lot of great change we can really bring.
What is your professional background, and how does that make you qualified to run on a city council?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. So my professional background is in communication and digital marketing. I started with an education technology company out of Stetson after graduation here in Orlando, where we designed and developed education material for accounting exams. So CPA exams, enrolled agent exams, very complicated material. We designed the lessons, we programmed the sites, I helped design the UI. It was there in that company, I learned was able to concretize some of the teachings in business school and really start to learn how important communication is in every single organization structure, whether it's sales, whether it's a marketing department, whether it's the entire company, or whether it's government. And I see day and night where our city thinks that a quarterly newsletter with promotional material is informing their residents. I see consent agendas designed to make sure that it's very difficult to follow what's actually happening in the city unless you have tons of leisure time to do so, which most of our residents don't. It's my professional experience there, developing online systems from sales to tracking online marketing with Facebook and others, where I really learned the potential of digital marketing today and how vital it's going to be for our small businesses to utilize these techniques, make their lives a little easier, and sell at a cheaper rate than previously. Our local small businesses up against massive corporations like Amazon that are constantly every single day increasing their profit share. With their practices on Amazon Seller, they can literally take your old products and sell it as their own product without giving you any money back. Their business practices are atrocious, and we have to realize that even on that national scale, that's going to affect our small businesses here. So we need to develop the right types of creative marketing within city space to, give advertisement to those better businesses who provide living wages and great services within our city. It's going to be very important as well to grow a local unique economy with these small businesses. And I feel that my professional skills are poised to help across the board. Today, I do consulting for a variety of companies online, and I really help across the board with everything from finances to strategy, marketing, and more. So I really think those skills in the right setting in our city commission would do wonders for Castleberry.
Okay. In Seminole County, much like Central Florida, we have a major housing crisis here. It's very hard to find affordable housing. It's very hard to find housing for a lot of people. How do you, in order to fix that problem, we need more housing. So how do we develop Castleberry in a way that is smart, effective, and environmentally conscious?
Absolutely. Developing sustainably for the long term is a huge facet of my campaign. We need to make sure that we're developing up instead of developing out, first and foremost. We need to make sure we're zoning for mixed use. So that way, if you live in an area and want to do a small home business, you can easily do so without the costs being completely unbearable. We need to make sure that when we develop, we're creating a more centralized but decentralized system. Right now, even here in Castleberry, we're spending millions of dollars to develop a downtown district in an area where I personally feel it's not feasible to do so. But this idea of one town district, in my mind, is antiquated. We need local hubs within the city where businesses can market together and grow opportunity and become a destination. And then we need to connect those hubs across our city. So that way, you're not walking hours and hours to get to a bus stop. I have plans for community shuttles here on our city streets that, mixed with the right development projects, could help unlock opportunity for all of our residents.
Okay. Trying to see if there's any other questions that are coming in. I'll give people a few more minutes. I think a lot of people do appreciate the idea of your strategy for development. All right, so I guess this might be the best question to end on. Again, where can someone get a fantastic shirt like the one you're wearing now?
Yes, American made, union made, even the source material here in America, y'all. You definitely want a shirt like this. It's chadalbritton.com. That's ChadAlbritton.com. We even have some great tote bags, super strong. And in addition, any kind of donation will go a huge way to helping us get the word out for our campaign. You know, outreach is the most expensive part of a campaign, and we're trying to reach more than just the voters who regularly vote, because I'm a big fan of expanding the electorate and motivating all we can. And so the more we can bring in, the more we can motivate and activate our residents here in Castleberry to get out and vote. I mean, there are so many big important issues, especially here in Castleberry. We're talking millions of dollars on the line in funding that could be going way better allocated to our people here in Castleberry rather than big companies coming in for development. We do have, again, a big need for volunteering, so please check us out for that. You know, we've been super thankful, and I've been super thankful for all the support of the SemDems, but we have not received the same level of funding from the Florida Democratic Party or Municipal Victory Fund. So if you can afford a donation to our campaign, if you like what you heard tonight and you feel that I am the candidate not only for Castleberry, but to help move our local government forward, please chip in. I definitely need your help. It's going to be a huge weekend, so if you're volunteering for me or any other candidate, please come out and help. There's so much on the line this Tuesday, and remember, most of Florida early votes, so we need to get that word out for Saturday. Thanks again for the opportunity to be here. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much, Chad. One last thing, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Tyler Krause says, "Hey, Croomy." So
hey.
So again,
yes, Croom's 09, of course, absolutely. Thank you again, Ben. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks so much, Chad. Take care.
Absolutely, take care.
All right. So again, thank you so much. Again, Brittany, I'll kind of pass it on again before I go. For everyone who is here and everyone who's watching, kind of after the fact. Again, I'm sorry we couldn't be live. All of these candidates need your vote this election cycle. So by Tuesday, these people's campaigns will be decided. We need you to vote, not just in November when we get rid of Trump. We need you to vote now. So again, if you're one of the 26,000 Democrats who have yet to turn in a ballot, please turn that in. If you are one of the thousands of other Democrats that have not yet voted early or voted on election day, be safe, wear a mask, bring your hand sanitizer, and make sure you vote, because we desperately need you to make Seminole County the community we deserve. So again, Brittany, pass it back to you.
Very nice, Ben. And again, very well said. We all know that we're going to vote. I mean, I feel like right here, we're preaching to the choir. I mean, obviously when this goes out on Facebook, a few more people will see it, which would be great. But we need everybody to share this with their friends and family. Make sure that you let them know. Remind them to vote on election day, if not before. I definitely encourage before. But we just thank you guys for all that you're doing. We'll be posting this shortly on Facebook as well. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I do have just a couple more announcements, and then we'll end it for the night. It's a short meeting tonight. So I did want to say a big thank you to Jackie, who has been our acting communications chair. She is going off to grad school, and she has been phenomenal for the past several months. So Jackie, thank you so much for all that you have done for the SemDems. And good luck in grad school. We're all cheering for you. And then I'd like to also welcome Nikki, who has been on our communications team for a while, and she's going to be stepping into that role and helping out from a communications perspective. So thank you so much to both Jackie and Nikki. We really appreciate you guys. And again, those candidates, let me circle back here just one little bit more thing. So those 3 candidates that you heard from tonight, Chad Albritton, Nancy Groves, and Veronica King, they are all going to be listed on your ballot as nonpartisan races. So they will not have a D next to their name. They will not have an R next to their name. There's not going to be any indication of who we're encouraging you to vote for on your ballot. So we do have our suggestions for who to vote for at semdems.com/vote. And that is where you can learn more information. We do have some judicial information up there as well, but we do encourage you guys to do some research yourself, do a little bit of homework, and make sure you get out there and vote. Vote for the candidates you believe in, but make sure that you vote, because these nonpartisan races, these 3 races, are super important. You know, we helped quite a few candidates last time around, and for example, we helped with Miss Christine Krause, who is on here tonight. We helped work to get her elected to the school board, and that is also a nonpartisan race. And people have been asking me lately, you know, why are the SemDems getting involved in partisan races? First of all, it's not something new. This is not exactly something giant and brand new, but the reason is because we want to make sure that people who align with our values get elected. We want to make sure that we are electing Democrats up and down the ballot. And so that is who we support. We support people who work closely with us and want to make sure that that our goals align and that we're pushing forward. So these candidates are all phenomenal, and we know that it's going to be could be a great 2020. Let's kick it off with next Tuesday's primary election night, and let's keep it going. 2020 has been a rocky year, to say the least, but we're ready to kind of turn it in the right direction. So, or should I say the left direction? Again, thank you so much for joining us. We will be having an announcement about a Biden office that is going to be opening in Sanford shortly. We'll be putting out an announcement. They're probably going to start getting things ready in this weekend. So hopefully by the following week after the election, they will be up and running. So good to hear from you guys. Do I have a motion to adjourn? From Ben, I see Ben's hand raised. Okay, do I have a second?
Jeff seconds.
Jeff seconds. Okay, Kyle and Ben, and then all in favor, please go ahead and vote. And I get the feeling this one's going to pass. So thank you guys all again. We are so excited. Let's get out there. Let's get these voters out. The more voters we get to the polls in August, we know that there's going to be more and more people out in November. So let's get out there and vote. Let's continue registering voters and encouraging your friends to vote the whole ballot. So thank you guys. Larry, is there a, yep, and we are 100%. So the meeting is adjourned. And thank you guys. Have a wonderful Thursday night, and please stay safe.